Hi, Journey Mates. Happy Thriving Thursday. I'm keeping it low because it's literally the wee hours of the morning. But I want to help you navigate this recession if you are seeking to thrive in your God given calling, and that looks like financial lack for a period of time. For those of you who are new to this YouTube channel, hello, my name is Coach B. I'm a biblical wellness coach, and I help believers rely on Jesus more than food. In short, I have coaching programs to walk them through that process, so on and so forth. You can check them out in the links below. You could also check out my ministry because I use social media to create content that will help you all, right? So moving forward, I'm currently in a situation where I have a home. God supernaturally has provided it. He meets my needs every month financially out of nowhere and just opens up doors to opportunities to sustain it. And it's a complete faith walk, like legit. I was not prepared to move in here in the natural, but spiritually I was. With that being said, there are things that come up about, so far. I rebuke saying about us, and it's a continuation. I've been here 4 weeks. 3 out of the 4 weeks, there has been a major issue. The first 2 weeks, it was the air. This week, it is the bathroom that has been out of commission for this will be the third day. So within this, I've had to revisit some strategies I used when I was homeless, right? And I'm going to talk about, for sure, bathing, like how to make sure you can bathe, how to do laundry and your intimates. And I also feel led to talk about safe havens you can go in the community, when you're homeless. And I'm not saying like on the streets homeless, but maybe couch surfing homeless, maybe couch surfing and in your car homeless. I have not had the experience of being just straight up out in these streets. So this won't be the video for that. The first thing when it comes to bathing is a lot of times when you're without, you still have some type of resource coming in, especially if you're a kingdom entrepreneur, or you have left a career, or you just know how to get money, right? And so what I have consistently done is made sure I had some type of gym membership. A couple years ago, I think in 2019, in 19, I made sure I had a membership that was one time a year, like $100 something one time a year. And given the situation, it was a huge investment, but I didn't have to pay any more. And so that allows you to like go in the gym, fool around a little bit, then go to the shower. And so these are the things that you need. You need a shower gel, you need a toothbrush, you need multiple plastic bags, one to carry your things in. I really like book bags because they're discreet and they look normal. And you can get a big gym bag, if you already have that in your possession and it looks normal. So you can hide everything. But, like a big gym bag and then a couple plastic bags. You need a plastic bag to put your shower gel, toothbrush. You might have like hair products that in because that stuff can, leak. You also need a plastic bag to put your dirty clothes in, mainly your underwear. Your actual clothes, unless they're like very musty, can stay free. They can stay loose in the bag along with your clean clothes because you don't know what situation you'll be in later and you might need to put them back on. Like earlier when I went to the gym, and I have a home, but I have to bathe at the gym, I kept my sweatpants free, but I tend to sweat in my underarms, so I put my t-shirt in with the dirty, underwear. Another thing is your bras and your underwear. Okay, well, let me just finish the showering part. So you also want to get at least one pair of flip-flops. You can get them from Dollar Tree for $125 because you never want your feet to be on the shower floor wet, and you want to dry your feet before you put them in socks and shoes to reduce the risk of any fungi, and it's like in a regular situation, you probably wouldn't even have to worry about this because you would be bathing at home. But dire times, desperate measures, make sure that you thoroughly dry off. Another thing is your towel and your rag. Don't put them back in your bag for long periods of time. You want to always like get somewhere safe and let them air dry. So what I would do is like lay it out on the back seat of my car. Once I'm in my car, because you're going to need this stuff in regular rotation, and you don't have like all this opportunity to wash given the nature of the situation. So you want to keep it as fresh as you can, which means you have to let that stuff dry, because you don't want it to get that bacteria smell and all of that. That makes things worse. But yeah, just feel confident going into the gym, doing a couple things, and then hopping in the shower and doing a couple light things if you want it to be discreet, because this is a regular thing for you. But if it's not a regular thing, they really don't pay attention at the gym, especially if you're in an affluent area. Like if people have money, then they're not expecting people to be going through something like that, So don't be in your head about it. I used to be like that in the beginning. Like people going no and people going judge me, but I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like you want to bathe, you want to freshen up, so do that. You're also going to need stuff like deodorant. The dollar store has that. I used to get hair products from the dollar store, like a gel, a brush, because I have this hair, I would even use dollar store conditioner, when I had the opportunity to wash my hair, to maintain it. And it was enough for that season of life. But yeah, what else can I say about that? I think that's it. If you're in the gym and you want to make sure that you can go to like a stall, let's say it's a bit busy, what I've learned to do is hang your clothes over the door. So, I'll go in the stall and I'll lay out the things that I'm not afraid of being stolen. And then typically there's a hook beside the actual shower. And so I'll make sure that I carry like my purse and anything that I do care about being stolen and hang it on the hook beside the shower, like right outside. And I'll lay my my like sweatpants or t-shirt or whatever over the door so that no one will take my stall while I'm out of it, or even really feel comfortable going in there, and then I'll push the door up. So that's a quick strategy to make sure that you have a place to like get dressed really fast, right? And that's all I can think of for the showering technique. Just get undressed, wrap yourself in your towel, hop in the shower, get out, and if it's no one in there, I don't even worry about wrapping myself in the towel. I just hurry up and hop in there so I can get out, and try to enjoy that time, because, being able to cleanse, it's a gift. It's a breath of fresh air, especially if you're going through the stress of like trying to move around and you're not comfortable and you're living accommodations. Because even when people open their homes to you, if you're used to a certain standard of living, it can be hard to even want to bathe there. You know what I'm saying? So do your best to like just be at peace, be in the presence of God, and enjoy bathing. But if it's not a safe environment, like it's a little eerie, I've been in that situation too. Like basement bathrooms at big facilities, make it snappy, okay? Make it snappy, or wait until it's a group of people around to actually go in the shower. Is this helpful, Journey Mates? Comment below if you've had similar experiences or if this is helping you, please. So let's go into like washing your undergarments, because they need to stay fresh so you can stay fresh. You don't want to be out here getting UTIs and all of these other feminine things while you are moving around, because you don't really have the resources to heal that. Plus that just sucks, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a young lady, that sucks. So the dollar store, at least was the last time I really went through this, they have small detergents anyway, like travel size detergents. And so all you need to do as you're in the shower, is after you bathe yourself, just put a little detergent, in the seated area, and like this, whatever this is, and keep it just keep it until it like lathers up and stuff like that, and you could see like the cleanness begin to happen, and rinse. And let's say, you know, you have some type of stain, like something was going on, it was that time of the month, you just want to keep lathering, you know. But it doesn't take much to do this and to do it well. And if you genuinely cannot like afford actual detergent, I've used soap, like dish soap. That helps a lot, because I'm like, I used to get stains out with this, so this makes sense. It's extra soapy, extra lavendery. It's easy to rinse out, and it doesn't throw off your pH balance. You know what I'm saying? Because you can relatively get it all out. Look at it like this: when you use a dish rag to wash, as long as you rinse a couple times, the dish rag tends to stay fresh, you know, when you're doing dishes. If you get the soap out, it doesn't like crust up and get hard. So that's another alternative, if you can use dish soap or detergent. And then just like with the towel, when you get to a safe area, lay it on a flat surface for it to dry. And just like open up your back windows if you're able to allow circulation. And that will keep your undies fresh. I really don't know about bras outside of sports bras because they have the padding and the wire. So find another video about that, like how to hand wash bras. I didn't really do that. I'm a sports bra wearer if I'm not going to like a job. And I would do the same thing with a sports bra. I would take out the padding and, you know, just like scrunch it with the detergent and rinse it, and then do with the actual bra itself. Sorry, the air kicked on and I'm talking low, but this is the best I could do because I don't want to wake up my neighbors. And then the third tip I could assist with, okay, so we said showering, personal items, washing them. I forgot what the third tip was. Oh, safe haven. So, you know, every time I've been in this situation, I've had a car, and I'm thankful to God for that, because what I would do is make myself a, what would you call it? Like a travel kit. So I would make sure I kept a couple good blankets in my trunk, and have one on the back seat just in case. You know, this is before I had a dog. When I would be in these situations. Now I wouldn't put it on the back seat because Levi would make it his little whatever, his little bed. But yeah, I would have a couple blankets and at least one in the trunk in case you need to like pull over somewhere and take a nap and be warm. So that's one thing. And so places that you can go and feel relatively safe. I'm so thankful to God that like every time I've been in this situation, people have opened their homes to me, so I would never be outside at night. It will be daytime, right? Because people have things to do, they might not be home, or yes, you've been offered a space from someone, but you know that you need to give them a break because people have their lives outside of providing you shelter, right? And so things like public libraries, this was hard in the pandemic, but they're back open now. It's a good place to go. You know, like if you can go shower, freshen up so you feel comfortable, and then go to the library and, you know, check out some books. They tend to have little like chill areas where there aren't as many people, not as much traffic, so you can really like get comfortable and relax, not lay down and go to sleep, but you know what I'm saying? But have peace and not be in the face of a lot of people. Other places like college campuses, like you can go and you can chill with relative ease. You can hang out in the parking lots and be pretty safe because they have security there already. I'm giving y'all the gems. Like this is legit how to survive a recession or being on an entrepreneurial journey and trusting Jesus, right? Yes, college campuses are a good place to just be off the grid, you know, especially looking young and stuff like that. You can just park and relax for the most part. What else? It's one more that I can't even think of. Parking lots of places that are open 24 hours in a relatively safe area. And I learned this tip when I was in Florida. You can tell a relatively safe area based on the quality of cars driving around. If you don't know, because maybe this not your city. If you're like, I don't know if this is the hood of the suburbs, peep the cars. If they're predominantly well-kept, nice, newer models of cars, you're good. And if they're not, you're not. Like that ain't where you want to pull over and chill. But that helps tremendously. Just like 24-hour McDonald's, 24-hour gyms, 24-hour restaurants, 24-hour like good gas stations, although you want to be careful, because human trafficking is a thing. So you want to like be discreet and also pay attention to your environment. I wouldn't suggest like sleeping at gas stations or near highways at all. And always like make sure that you have what makes you feel safe in your possession, and I'm gonna leave that there. But Journey Mates, I just wanted to provide this. I was, to be very transparent, on the phone trying to get food assistance for like the 5th time in the past couple of weeks, and I finally got through to someone, and he was really patient with me, and he helped me like to the furthest degree. And one of the things he said, because we ended up talking about what I do in a journey full of health, because I had to explain my hours and all of this, and he's like, like, how do you use your faith to like help with what's going on in the world? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, we're in a recession, and there's just a lot of bad things happening, and how do you use what you're doing to speak to that? And I'm like, that's a great point. I don't even focus on that because I'm so focused on helping people thrive in their God-given calling. But now I'm seeing through, the Lord allowing this thing to happen in my restroom, that God has really built me for a time such as this, because I know how to survive on minimal, even though I desire a high standard of living, right? Like I desire really healthy food. I desire really nice living accommodations, always have. Haven't had it for myself, I desire just not having to worry about income at all, which means being very financially secure. Have not had that yet, but yes, I'm a person that desires these things and strives for them, but it has not been my walk. I have not been building a journey full of health from that place. The only time I was really okay financially is when I had a job. And when I had a job, I wasn't okay mentally and emotionally to build on a consistent basis, right? Like the level of showing up would be 1 to 2 videos a month. Whereas now, shoot, especially with being consistent with YouTube alone is 12 videos. 4 times 3 is 12 videos a month. Then TikTok and Instagram, and I'm preparing to really get consistent and hit them heavy on LinkedIn. There's no way to do this. And what you guys see in video is like not even a third of what goes into a journey full of health, because of curriculum development, websites, funnels, email sequences, researching, serving clients, you know what I'm saying? Working on programs, and I minister, right? So there's so many hours that go into this, and it's building, and God has told me that this is my season and to not get a job, right? And so to do what I have to do to survive, but to not get a 9-to-5, right? And that means a lack of the financial security that I desire, but a whole bunch of work until the fruit comes. And I was honest with God about the pain of that this morning, because I was so unhappy with the way that things were going with, the restroom and stuff like that. It's like, this is what I went through at 23 or 21. However old I was, my senior year, junior going into senior year of college, I had a studio apartment. I'm being honest. It was a basement apartment. It was like my first place, or my second place. Maybe it was my second place, but it was my first summer in my college town. Dag, I'm not sure about this. Summer 2013. Yep, it was my second place since being in college because I had an apartment for that school year. Yeah. And it was a mold issue. And I was young. I didn't know how to advocate for myself. It was a predominantly white town. All of the realtors were like white families that were known, you know what I'm saying, or white companies that were known, predominantly white. And within that, I just was like a child, you know, and advocating for myself and really getting them out there to fix it. And I didn't know it was there. I just didn't feel well, and it had an odor, and they would just downplay it. You know how business people know how to like finesse and minimize, no low-key gaslight. And so I was dealing with that a little bit here, in that they were not making my living accommodations as convenient as possible for me as a consumer. And the first day I accepted it, but I was really upset. And so that led to me being like, okay, this isn't that. You could ask for what you need. Just because people don't give you what is really required without your request, it doesn't mean that you can't get it. And you don't have to be nasty to get it. But when I was younger, I didn't know that. And I ended up getting like respiratory infections or sinus issues, pink eye, all living in my home because they had the nerve to cut open the wall and be working on it, and it was worse than what they thought it was. And they didn't even put me in a different unit. I was in the same apartment as they were going through this cleansing process, and I didn't even know that that's like not okay. And I've always been a homebody. When I have a home, I'm there all the time, outside of if I have to work or have plans. And so for me, having people in and out of my house cleaning, especially men, I don't like it. I do not like it. I do not. I want a husband to deal with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this situation was bringing up. The fact that I don't have the resources, the fact that this type of stuff don't really happen when you have the resources, the fact that I didn't want them to walk around with their shoes off, but I felt intimidated to say anything about it, and I wanted them to clean up. But yesterday, I put on my big girl pants and was really encouraged by my pastor, and that I'm not that 21, 23-year-old girl that doesn't know how to speak up. There's a way to say, hey, y'all gonna clean that? Or, hey, you know, I'm a lady. Can you, make sure y'all close the tiles in the ceiling? It kind of has an odor, and I'll be looking up in there, and for them to want to resolve it, and see, okay, yeah, this is important. Me personally, and I can't make everybody be me that gets into a judgmental space. I was struggling because I'm like, if it were me and I were providing the service, because I'm very considerate. I care a lot about the consumer experience because I love my journey mates, right? And I just want everything about their encounter with the Journey Full of Health to be so well-rounded that I would have went above and beyond and automatically been cleaning and automatically been considering, oh, they're going to have to come in here and, have their dealings. But not everyone is like that. And God help me with this today. They're men. They don't see what I see. They don't have the experience in the restaurant that I have in the restroom. And they have a emergency, like urgent, on the go type of job, because they're like 24-hour plumbers, which means that, people call them when it's chaos. And at first the situation was chaos because it was water just raining in the house, right? They're not the guys that's like the contractors that's coming in to renovate something and think about, the upscale experience for clientele. That's not their role. That's not their niche, So I could see God in that, but I also am thankful for this experience because it just was the ultimate setup to begin to give you guys realistic tips to how do I thrive, meaning to thrive is to flourish, it's to grow, it's to still be able to prosper despite your circumstance. And now looking back, I can see that God enabled me to thrive despite some very dry places that led to me not being able to have my own at certain times throughout this journey. And I was asking myself, in making this video, am I saying that, to be who you're called to be, will you have to be homeless? Will you have to lose everything? And that just depends on your walk with the Father.